From mild to wild, we are sighting in on the highly modified guns that race to the top of the leaderboard at the U.S. Steel Championships.
Now we're sighting in with Shooting USA. The guns, the gear, and the information to get you on target.
Steel shooting is a fast and fun shooting sport that is seeing some real growth in terms of participation. The growth in some cases is due to the spectator-friendly format or the relatively limited amount of running required. Now, that appeals to me. But I think the primary reason is that you don't have to spend a fortune on equipment to give it a try.
Well, that's right, Jim. But once you are hooked on steel shooting, there's a world of options out there to help you go faster. I got a chance to talk to some of the top competitors at the U.S. Steel match to find out they're looking for a level of comfort from their gun. There is a trend among the rimfire shooters at the U.S. Steel Championship, converting limited guns into 22s. Kay Clark Michalek took her Smith & Wesson 1911 lower and combined it with a Tactical Solutions upper. The pairing is a perfect fit for Kay.
They're extremely reliable. I've just had this one we got it like a week before the match, and so I was kind of like, well, I'm not sure I want to shoot this in the match. We went out and shot it one time, and it just functioned flawlessly. We came here, and it functioned flawlessly again.
Phil Strader is also sporting a Tactical Solutions conversion. The new upper is combined with his STI 2011 lower. Phil believes using the same lower gives him an edge in the overall competition.
Recoil is different, obviously, and the rhythm of the gun is a little different, but to be able to feel like you're holding the same gun, it's a good warm-up, and it's good for consistency.
But no matter how well put together a 22 is, there is always the possibility of feeding problems. That's one reason master revolver shooter Jerry Michalak stays with his Smith & Wesson Model 617 revolver. This 10-shot, 6-inch 22 wears his signature grips and has Jerry's custom trigger and handspring. A massive 10-pound trigger pull prevents Jerry from outrunning the gun.
The idea of a trigger, it has to stay with your finger. So if you lighten it up too much and you go to let the trigger loose, and it's not going to follow your finger back forward for a fast reset, you're actually behind the curve. So I can't shoot this thing fast enough to outrun it. So I'm the only excuse. It's not the gun.
Switching now from rimfire to centerfire rounds with the limited gun. Doug Koenig is shooting his Smith & Wesson DK in 38 Super. We've shown you this single stack before when Doug shot it in the Light and Laser Invitational. He liked the setup so much then, he made no changes to it for the Steel Championship, including leaving the Crimson Trace laser grips on.
You know, I like shooting single stacks. That's pretty much what I shoot, and the Super is a perfect gun for this match and perfect caliber. You know, I like to keep things simple. I still have the same Crimson Trace grips on there because they're really comfortable. And, you know, the gun's the same except it took the light and the rail off.
Todd Jarrett is also using a single stack in 38 Super, but with all the modification, it may be hard to tell. His para has been lightened by Al Zita of ZM Weapons.
Al pretty much skeletonized it for me. We want to cut the gun up as much as we could to be able to get the gun as light as possible to be able to move between targets. But it's definitely, we cut a lot out of the slide to get the slide moving so we can get to the next target a little quicker.
In the open division, most competitors shoot 1911 double stacks, but not everyone. David Olhasso is sticking with his Springfield XD in 9mm, adding an aluminum magwell and compensator. But the biggest difference between David's gun and other open shooters is the choice in optic. He's using the tiny Doctor optic mounted at the rear of the slide.
It's really easy to pull up the gun and it's in the right spot. The sights are, sights are in the right spot. If I try and shoot a Seymour, the sights are going to be in a different position and I'll have a difficult time.
Gunsmiths play a major role in the quality of open guns. To see that in action, look no further than Casey Eusebio and Max Michel Jr. They get the benefits of the custom work done by the Army Marksmanship Unit's gunsmiths. KC's Caspian 38 is built on a 1911 frame with a Seymour optic. The aluminum compensator and grips are custom made by AMU gunsmiths. Open Division champion Max Michel Jr. shoots what began as an STI Super Comp, but he sanded down both the grip and trigger guard to precisely fit his hand.
That's the beauty of shooting a plastic gun. I can release some of the plastic and allows my hand to get up there, but I do texture it to make sure that I have a good grip on the gun at all times.
Mike, I see what you mean about the top shooters trying to achieve a comfort factor with their guns, especially those who convert their centerfire guns to rimfire so the grip feel is exactly the same.
Well, and how about Jerry with his signature heavy trigger? Unreal. But coming next, John, Greg, and I go head-to-head on the stages of fire to see who gets the bragging rights this time.
I gotta see this.
Shooting USA is brought to you by Smith & Wesson. Safety, security, protection, and sport. And by Crimson Trace Laser Grips, the world's only grip-integrated laser sights.